What is not that serious, but can still ruin your day? My dryer not drying my clothes all the way before work in the winter. Thinking the to-go lid on your coffee is properly secured when it is not. When you hit any part of your body on an inanimate object. I just get so mad at the object / myself. 100% like bang my head on the cabinet door and I'm immediately ready to burn my house down and commit cabinet genocide for about 4 seconds. Yes. My lizard brain just immediately takes hold and goes, who did this to me? Kill them. And then human brain catches up. No one. We did this to ourselves. And lizard brain is still furious, but now can't justify it anymore. The worst. Random minor mood swing. Forgetting what you remember, and then remembering what you forgot. These mood swings where you can't even really put your finger on why you feel that way. Like everything is okay, or there's just a minor mishap, but your body is like, nope, we are not in a good mood, and it stays that way. Yesterday within a few hours I went from being in tears at the beauty of music to curling up in a ball from anxiety of death. This always happens when I'm under stress, and there were no clear reasons as to why either of those states should have been switched on. Don't have bipolar, just not good at handling high stress. When you've already left the house for the day and realize you are wearing undies that give you a wedgie. And then forgetting to toss them, washing them, and wearing them over and over again. Yep, I can see it happening. Definitely not speaking from experience. For me, it's that moment you drop a spoon or something. Physics breaks, and it just bounces off every single surface on its way down, making as much noise as a spoon-like object could possibly make. It just feels like it takes forever to finally stop moving. I dunno. Drives me bad speep. We have these 4x4 metal square buckets at work, and when those things touch the floor it makes me go all Venom in Spider-Man 3. Peeped up dreams. I get into a serious funk maybe once every other month, because of some vivid abomination I dreamt of, often involving something that bothers me. I roll. They ruin your day, because you wake up shaky, and can't stop thinking about it all day. Then you are scared to go to sleep the next night. Also, when I have bad dreams I wake up extra early, so on top of it I'm tired. I once dreamed I had cancer and hadn't told anyone yet, and I spent not 1, but 2 days constantly going through our shoot. I still haven't told him I have cancer yet. Oh wait, I don't. When I first started going out with my boyfriend I had dreams where I cheated on him. I'd wake up feeling extremely guilty. And some point in my day I'd try to jog my memory on if he knows I've cheated on him yet. And then I'm like, hold on a minute. Doesn't help that I already feel guilty about dreaming that in the first place. I also gotta feel guilty about what I didn't do. Not finishing a good dream. This needs more attention, lol. Especially for special dreams. Special dreams? Like when you're not picked last for kickball, but right before they pick you. You wake up. Wet socks. I see you. And raise you wet jeans. Especially if they're wet all over. It makes my legs and hips so itchy. Accidentally biting the inside of your cheek hard when chewing your food. For some reason when that happens to me, it repeats itself about 3 times shortly after. It's like a small electrical jolt that makes my jaw suddenly snap shut on that cheek, even though I was trying so hard to avoid it. So painful. When you bite your cheek the area swells up, which makes it then much easier to bite again. WTF body. Hey, when you get in, let me know. We need to talk. We need to talk. Those two. One variation for work and the other for personal, are the worst. There's no context, no stated reason for needing to talk. Only dread. Edit. Wow. This blew up. My highest rated comment. Thank you all for relating to this and showing it. I want to add that I have a very secure job, federal government, in which I'm actually fairly senior. The above single line email or text, or as someone mentioned, a last minute meeting invite with the subject line updates or touch base, have never been something where I thought I was going to get fired. And I rarely get in trouble. But I still feel that dread. The worst was in a previous position still with the Fed. Just a different division in which I had a micromanaging boss. We had a disagreement on how I was handling something. Then, Friday even I get an email that said, "Come see me on Monday. We need to talk." And that ruined the whole damn weekend. The meeting was for me to explain my reasoning, and we came to an agreement, but there was definitely tension because he still didn't really like how I was handling it, even though he had to concede, based on my reasoning. I hate that. Or when I get a meeting notice from a higher up with no explanation why. I always go right to "OMG, I'm getting fired, I have been there 11 years" and freak out every time. I was like that for years, but I eventually calmed down and stopped overthinking things. Then I got called into my manager's office. I was thinking, calm down. He's not going to fire you. You're the most experienced one here. Spoiler alert. I got fired. Now I'm back to thinking that way all the time at my current job. You ever been craving something and postpone it for a certain day, and then when it's that day something happens and you don't get to eat that day? Ruined. Made a steak one night. I had half, then put the other half away for the next day. I got home after craving it and thinking about it all day. Opened then fridge in my room, it had eaten it. It broke me. Not having enough time to get ready and having to go out in something you're slightly uncomfortable in. Very true. And then you tell yourself it doesn't matter, no one will notice, but you're still not able to have a good day. Yeah, exactly. I remember this one time we had to go to the church, but I wasn't told that, so I wore a skull-faced tee. Boy oh boy, the stares I got that day. When my grandmother passed away, my brother and I flew into New York from TX together on the first day of her wake. Very Irish Catholic family. Both being from colder weather and living in Texas. We were dressed how most people would dress for summer or spring travel. Not much to worry about. We expected an opportunity to change. We were headed into the snow in January, but we both love the cold and looked forward to a proper winter. Our uncle, however, picked us up at JFK and insisted on taking us straight to the wake. I was fortunately in jeans and a t-shirt that were at least non-offensive. My brother was in basketball shorts, sandals, and a t-shirt with a lewd picture of Bulma from Dragon Ball on it. The looks he got. I'll never forget that, lol. Grandma would have laughed. But damn, was that unfortunate. We got chewed out by my mother. And for whatever reason we had no chance to change. Uncle Kevin insisted in taking us straight to the wake. Bags and all. Was just not an excuse anyone was willing to accept. Never mind, I've got a very respectable 3-piece suit in the trunk. It's pretty terrible if me to show up. After requesting we stop at the grandparents' house, literally walking distance from the funeral house. In jeans and plain colored t-shirt. Uncle Kevin later died of cancer. If he were reading this now, I would hope he knows we know he did that on purpose. And that he's at peep. A lovable one. But at peep all the peep insane. Having to get gas before work. There's no better way of screwing yourself over than driving past a station after work and saying I'll do it in the morning. This is one of the most common lies we tell ourselves. I know this isn't true for all people, but I know I'm not the only one. When someone takes my parking spot at work, it's not a big deal at all, but whenever it happens I feel like my day will suck. I'm one of, 17 people who has a reserved spot where I work. It doesn't bother me at all if, for some reason, someone else parks in it, but some of the managers will absolutely lose their speep and start screaming if someone does so to them. I don't get it, but I think your comment has helped me understand at least a tiny bit. Being excited and extremely happy about something and then telling somebody, only to be met with either a disappointing reaction or even being told that what you're excited about is childish / silly / not interesting. Happened way too often to me, so I don't share many things with others anymore. Or similarly, you're in a good mood for once. You feel surprisingly positive, and then you just talk to a stranger like normal, and they're rude as hell to you. I remember when I was 19. I was working as a home carer, and it was the first time I had to work Christmas and New Year's. My family all lived in a different country, so I was completely alone for the holidays the first time in my life, and I was cycling to the first house I had to visit at around 7 AM on New Year's Day. Feeling sad that I hadn't had any family to celebrate with, but determined to have a good first day of the year. The streets were icy and almost empty, and as I cycled along I passed a guy who was around my age. I smiled and said Happy New Year. And he shouted at me to piss off. The rest of the day didn't go so well after that. Dropping something or getting your earbuds caught on something and yanked out of your ear. Edit. I've had AirPods for the last few months. The memories persist. Or your belt loop stuck on a door handle as you're passing by with your arms full. Bold of you to assume I've worn much of anything with belt loops in the last several months. But yes, that's bad, too. Getting in the most comfy position in my bed, but the sudden urge to pee arises. Or you forget to brush your teeth. Missing your alarm. Or hitting the snooze a couple of times too many, and now you have to rush to get ready. Having to go poop right after taking a shower. Having to poop right as you are about to leave for work. Be late or escaping yourself. Or you're expecting guests to arrive at any moment and you suddenly have to poop. And they're traveling from far away, so you know they'll need to use the bathroom right after you're done. Forgetting my chapstick on a day I won't be home for a while. A whitehead on the tippy tip of your nose. Or the crease between the nostril and the cheek, impossible to get easily and so painful. On that tip, right on the ridge of your lip is a bitch too. Cause not only is it painful as all hell, worse, people think you got the herpes. Forgetting your mobile phone back home. Losing it would be serious. Letting your toenails get just slightly too long. Or cut it too short. Ingrown toenail. Being late to anything. Starting my period. Unexpectedly too. Like damn you're 3 days early. Better than being late, usually. Waking up with a crick in my neck, forget just ruining the day. That sleep can last 4 days. Catching my toe on the coffee table. Spilling my coffee. Having a coin or pebble get into your shoe and not being able to get it out right away. A pebble, I understand. But a coin? Staining your favorite shirt. Don't drink red wine in the morning. When it feels like it's going to rain, and even looks like it, and then it goes away, and gets warm and sunny. Feels like an almost sneeze, but then it goes away. When you start running out of hot water halfway through your shower. When you have plenty of hot water left but someone decides they need to use a tap, flush a toilet, or just run some cold water, because why the hell not? Suddenly get blasted with cold. And it's funny, I do like ending my shower by turning it cold for the last little bit sometimes. But it's a hell of a lot different when I'm not expecting it and not done with my shower. God, I miss having a shower that's separate from the rest of the plumbing. Food I had left at home that I was looking forward to eating after a long day at work, being guzzled down by a family member. Not being able to sleep the night before. Spilling coffee on yourself right after you get dressed. Cat puked on the carpet. You open a weird book and unleash a demon older than the world, and the cafeteria is out of a lot of stuff. The other day I was putting on my jacket and heard a big crash. My kittens were running around and knocked over my floor lamp, shattering the bulb. Cleaning tiny shards of glass while becoming late for work was a great start to the day. Putting a sock on inside out and not having a chance to fix it for hours. Sleeping on my neck wrong. Stepping in a puddle and getting your socks wet. Hemorrhoids. When you're trying to show someone something, and at that very moment, whatever you're trying to show them is fine/isn't working, and you look dumb. Group of teenagers looking my direction, giggling and whispering to each other. That one ash peep that cuts you off in traffic when there's no one behind you. Then you both meet at a red light. Imposter syndrome insomnia. Fuck bro, that could ruin more than a day. From what I've read, imposter syndrome sounds so unsettling. Your colleagues putting the office radio on a very bad station. Waking up to the wet choking sound of your cat or dog puking on carpet, with just enough time to hear it happening, but not enough to prevent it. Realizing 10 minutes after you get to work that the reason those shoes were in the back of the closet is because they are uncomfortable AF. Realizing there is no milk in the fridge. What even is serious? My kid decided that she wasn't going to flush the toilet after 5 pees. Unfortunately, she used like 100 sheets of toilet paper per pee, and decided to try and power bomb all those pee-covered speep tickets down the toilet in one go. Naturally, the toilet overflowed and water spilled all over the floor. And then suddenly we are in the living room and a mix of urine and water is raining down from our light fixtures and water spots are starting to show up all over the ceiling. Forgetting to put on deodorant. It's going to sound stupid, but back before the times of all online schooling/social distanced schooling, someone taking your seat in class. Doesn't matter if it was high school or college, I would get very put off from not being in my seat in class. I was told once it's probably connected to anxiety or something, but HH. Headache. Taking a speep and you have to finish as soon as possible because you're getting late and the first half an hour isn't very pleasant feeling. Gas. Heartburn. When someone parks in my parking spot, they are not assigned or anything, so it isn't really my spot, but I've been parking there for 10 years. A bad hangover. Messing up your morning coffee/tea. Talking to me in the morning in general, especially if someone's telling me to do stuff right after I woke up. Plantar fasciitis. Flat tire. One wet sock. Stepping in dog's peep. Arguing with a 6-year-old. Feeling good about yourself and then walking past a shop window or something and catching a glimpse of your own reflection. Day ruined.